Welcome back, everyone. For this deep dive, end of September 2025, we're tackling, well, probably the hottest topic in tech right now. The DORA report on AI's impact in software development.
That's right. It's a beast of a report. We actually fed the summary into Notebook LM just to help us break it down.
Yeah, exactly. So the goal today is really to cut through that complexity and give you the key insights quickly.
And the core question, it's really shifted. It's not if teams should use AI anymore. Usage is pretty much standard practice now.
Right. Everyone's using it.
It's how do you actually get real sustained value from it? That's the puzzle organizations are trying to solve.
And this research, nearly 5,000 people globally chimed in, it delivers a pretty stark truth, doesn't it?
It does. AI isn't some magic wand you wave over bad processes. It's fundamentally an amplifier.
An amplifier, meaning?
Meaning it just makes whatever you already have bigger,
Yeah.
stronger, or worse.
Okay, so if you've got smooth, efficient workflows, AI puts them into hyperdrive.
Exactly. Supercharges them, gives you a real edge. But, and this is the big but, if your organization is already struggling with, say, slow processes, lots of tech debt, maybe a clunky internal platform, AI just makes that chaos accelerate.
So if your code review is already a bottleneck, and AI helps developers write 5 times more code.
You just end up with 5 times the code stuck in that bottleneck.
Yeah.
Or maybe 5 times the bugs slipping through if the review can't keep up. It speeds up the dysfunction.
Wow. So the real win isn't just getting the latest AI tool.
Nope. The biggest returns come from fixing the underlying system, the structure, the platforms, the culture, how work actually flows. Get that right first.
Otherwise, those individual productivity bumps just get swallowed by the downstream mess.
Precisely. Lost to friction, as the report puts it.
Okay, so let's look where things stand right now. AI use is standard, you said.
Yeah, near universal.
Yeah.
We're talking 90% of people using AI at work. That's a massive jump from just the year before.
And people feel it's working for them, individually.
Overwhelmingly positive on that front. More than 80% feel it's boosted their personal productivity.
And it's not just occasional use. Developers are spending real time with these tools.
They are. The median time spent interacting with AI on their most recent workday was 2 hours.
2 hours, that's what, a quarter of a typical day? That's substantial.
It really is. Shows deep integration. But here's where it gets interesting.
Go on.
All this usage happens alongside some pretty healthy skepticism. About 30% of developers. They report having little to no trust in the code AI generates.
Wait, hold on. How does that work, spending 2 hours a day using something you don't trust?
Hey, yeah, it sounds contradictory, right?
It really does. Are they just generating stuff to immediately delete it?
Not quite. It's more like they trust it for certain tasks, the grunt work, the boilerplate, maybe getting a first draft started quickly.
Ah, okay.
But for the complex logic, the critical pieces, they're applying a very strict trust with verify approach. At 2 hours includes generating, but also carefully checking, correcting, refining.
So it's like a very powerful but slightly unreliable assistant.
Exactly. They see its power, but they know it needs that human oversight. It's actually a pretty mature way to handle it, I think. Not blind faith, not outright rejection.
Okay, that makes more sense. Now, how has this impacted the actual delivery metrics, the things DORA is famous for, like speed and stability? I remember last year the data was messy.
Yeah, 2024 was weird. It almost looked like AI was hurting overall performance, which felt off.
Right.
But that anomaly seems to be resolved now. The 2025 data shows a really key shift. AI adoption is now linked to better software delivery throughput. Teams are getting code through the system faster.
Okay, so the speed issue is sorted. Why? Did the AI get smarter, or did people figure out how to use it better?
Probably a bit of both, but the report suggests it's mostly the latter. People learn better prompting, how to ask the AI better questions to get better answers.
Ah, prompt engineering.
Exactly. And organizations started putting guardrails in place, making it safer to use, integrating it better. So teams adapted, and the tools likely got a bit better too.
But DORA isn't just about speed, right? It's speed and stability. What about the other side of the coin? Change failure rate, rework.
And that's the crucial caveat. That's where the amplifier idea really hits home.
Uh-oh.
While throughput is up, AI adoption is still correlated with increased delivery instability. Higher change failure rates, more rework needed.
So we're moving faster, but potentially breaking things more often.
Pretty much. It confirms the thesis perfectly.
Yeah.
The AI gives individuals turbo speed, but the system, the testing, the integration, the deployment pipelines hasn't caught up to safely handle that fire hose of change.
We're generating code faster than our safety nets can manage.
You got it. Which brings us back to needing to fix the system, not just focusing on the tool.
Okay, so if the system is the bottleneck, how do we fix it? Does DORA offer like a roadmap?
It offers a framework, yeah. They call it the DORA AI capabilities model. It basically identifies 7 foundational things organizations need to have in place.
7 capabilities, and these are prerequisites to actually get the good amplification from AI instead of just amplifying the chaos.
Exactly. Get these right, and AI's benefits stick. Ignore them, and those individual speed boosts just vanish into that downstream friction we talked about.
All right, let's maybe focus on a few key ones. What stands out?
Okay, well, number 1, maybe surprisingly, is about communication. Having a clear and communicated AI stance.
So like an official policy on how we use AI.
Yes, but the key finding wasn't what the policy said. Restrictive or permissive didn't matter as much.
Oh.
What mattered was how clearly it was communicated. Ambiguity is the killer.
Why is clarity so important, more than the rules themselves?
Because uncertainty creates friction. If developers are constantly worried, can I use this tool? Is it okay to feed it this data? Am I breaking some compliance rule? They hesitate, they slow down, or they just avoid the powerful tools altogether.
Makes sense. Fear slows things down.
Right. A clear stance, whatever it is, removes that fear, reduces the friction, and lets people use the approved tools with confidence. That clarity boosts both individual and organizational performance.
Okay, clear rules. What's next? Something about data, right?
Yep. Healthy data ecosystems and AI-accessible internal data. This is huge.
Because the AI needs good fuel to give good output?
Precisely. Those big general AI models are trained on public internet data. They're amazing, but generic.
Right.
To get really relevant, trustworthy suggestions for your specific company, the AI needs access to your internal stuff, your code bases, your documentation, your design docs, run books.
Your proprietary knowledge.
Exactly. Without that context, the AI suggestions are just educated guesses. Hooking it up to high-quality internal data is what really improves code quality and individual effectiveness within your walls.
So the real work is often cleaning up and organizing our internal knowledge, not just buying the fanciest AI model.
That's a huge part of it. Investing in that internal data ecosystem pays off more in the long run, according to the research. Localized intelligence wins.
Okay, clear stance, good internal data. What's the third big one? Platforms.
Quality internal platforms. And this ties into the massive trend of platform engineering. 90% of orgs are doing it now.
Why is a good platform such a game changer for AI?
Because the platform acts as the foundation and the distribution channel. It provides the guardrails, the automated testing, the security scans, the easy deployment pipelines.
The safety net we talked about earlier.
Right. It's what allows those individual bursts of AI-driven productivity to actually flow through the system safely and at scale. Connects the dots.
So without a good platform, AI speed stays stuck in little local pockets. With one, it becomes a systemic advantage.
You nailed it. And this all ties beautifully into value stream management, or VSM.
VSM, visualizing and improving the flow of work idea to customer. How does that multiply the AI effect?
Well, think about it. AI might make the coding part of your value stream super fast. Great. But what if your real bottleneck is waiting for manual QA, or a slow security review, or complex deployment approvals? Speeding up coding just creates a bigger pileup further down the line.
Right, you just move the traffic jam.
Exactly. VSM forces you to see the whole system, identify those real bottlenecks, and then maybe you can apply AI's power there, or at least ensure the faster coding doesn't just create more waiting, it channels the speed effectively.
It prevents AI from just making the existing problems worse, faster.
It's the steering wheel for the AI engine.
Okay, this systemic view is crucial. But what about the people? We talked about developers using AI, but how does it feel? Does it make jobs better or just faster and more stressful?
That's another fascinating part of the report.
Yeah.
They didn't just look at metrics, they looked at team health, burnout, friction, whether people feel their work is valuable.
And they identify different types of teams.
7 profiles, yeah, based on combinations of performance and these human factors.
Any standouts?
Well, you've got the ideal. Harmonious high achievers. About 20% of teams, they're killing it. High performance, low burnout, low friction, sustainable success. That's the goal state.
The dream team.
Pretty much. But then you have a really important warning sign, especially relevant to this AI acceleration discussion. The constrained by process teams.
Constrained by process. What's their deal?
About 17% fall into this category. These teams might be working on stable, important stuff, but they are drowning in inefficient workflows. Red tape, endless approvals, clunky handoffs.
So they could be effective, but the system holds them back.
Exactly. And the result, high burnout, high friction. They feel like they're running through treacle. Giving them AI to write code faster doesn't fix their core problem if the sign-off process still takes weeks.
That friction just eats up any potential AI gains. And morale.
Totally undermines their impact. And it highlights, again, fix the system.
Okay, but there was some good news on the human front too, right? Something about pride.
Yeah, this was really cool. Higher AI adoption was actually linked to greater levels of authentic pride among developers.
Really? How? I'd expect maybe anxiety about automation.
The mechanism seems pretty straightforward. AI takes over a lot of the tedious, repetitive tasks, writing boilerplate code, basic unit tests, data transformations, the stuff developers often find boring.
The drudgery.
Right. And by offloading that, it frees them up to spend more of their time on the interesting, challenging, creative parts of the job, the work they see as valuable work.
So they feel like they're solving harder problems, making a bigger impact, which leads to pride.
Exactly. They're doing less low-value labor and more high-value thinking and innovation.
And importantly, they still feel like it's their work, even with AI help.
That's another key finding on psychological ownership. Overwhelmingly, developers still feel ownership of the code produced with AI's assistance.
They don't see the AI as like a co-author stealing their credit.
No, much more like a very sophisticated tool, an assistant or co-pilot that they are skillfully directing. They're still the architect, the decision maker. Only a tiny fraction felt their sense of ownership diminished.
That's huge for adoption and morale, seeing it as an empowering tool, not a replacement. Okay, one last crucial piece you mentioned earlier, the user-centric focus. Why is that so vital for making AI work?
This might be the most important point for anyone leading teams or organizations. The positive impact of AI on team performance isn't automatic. It gets massively amplified when teams have a strong user-centric focus.
Meaning they really understand and prioritize what the end user actually needs.
Yes. They have a clear North Star. They know why they're building something and for whom. That focus ensures that the speed and power AI provides are directed towards creating actual customer value.
And the flip side is the big warning.
The big warning. The research found that AI adoption can actually have a negative impact on team performance if that user focus is missing.
Negative.
Think about it. If you're using AI to move incredibly fast, but you're building the wrong things, or focusing on internal pet projects or features nobody wants, you're just accelerating the wrong direction. You're efficiently creating waste.
Wow. So AI speed without user focus is actively harmful?
Potentially, yes. You get to the wrong place much, much faster. Understanding the user is non-negotiable before you hit the AI accelerator.
So wrapping it all up, AI really is like holding up a mirror to your organization.
That's a great way to put it. It shows exactly where your systems are strong and where they're brittle, slow, or broken.
And the path forward isn't just buying more AI tools.
No, it's about organizational transformation. Fixing the platforms, clarifying the rules, getting that VSM view right, focusing on the user, address the systemic friction and burnout points.
That's where the real leverage is. Make the system healthy, then let AI amplify that health.
Exactly. Use this research, these capabilities, these team profiles, not as a rigid set of rules, but as a lens. A way to form hypotheses about your specific bottlenecks and run experiments.
Find your constrained by process friction points and see if AI can help there, instead of just making the fast parts faster.
If you fix a system, AI delivers. If you don't, well, buyer beware.
This has been incredibly insightful. Another deep dive from Le Podcast de Philippe, breaking down the key takeaways from the DORA 2025 AI report. Hopefully this gives you a framework to think about AI in your own context.
Absolutely. And hey, a quick reminder, we're getting really close to our goal of 1,000 subscribers.
We are. So if you found this useful, please do share it with a friend or colleague who's also navigating this rapidly changing AI landscape.
Every little bit helps. Thanks for tuning in.